everyone, welcome to my channel. I know this is really late, I'm so sorry. Excuse me, so sorry. I think this is the 2nd of March. So this is February's video that's coming out. I'm not gonna lie, I have had a bit of a rubbish month with regards to doing any kind of stitching. The barn has kind of taken precedence. My dad is here now, so he's trying to do a lot of it so that we don't have a huge labour bill at the end of it. Our labour bill is going a little bit crazy. So he arrived at, I think, at the beginning of February. Yeah, I can't even remember when he came now, but around the beginning of February. But yeah, so I did manage to work on one project, which was Delightful Waltz. I feel like my whip go is going to go by the wayside. I really, really do. I haven't finished my whip go Monday. Oh, my goat's about to come in. George is about to come in. So if it's really noisy, I'm so sorry. He gets into everything. I didn't manage to do my whip go in January very much, although I think I did a better job. February was a write-off. March is probably going to be a write-off as well. We've just got so much going on. We put an extension on the front of the barn, a 24-foot extension, which I've decided to keep open so that we can store things, but we still have kind of a through fare. And then once I think the second barn gets built, I will then look at, you know, enclosing it and see where we are. I'm gonna see if I can, I don't know, I can see George outside, but anyway, let me see if I can, I feel like he's coming. Oh, he's playing with the milk bottle. I'm gonna see if I can get through kind of this stitching now. Oh, he's coming in. Do you want to see him? Hi, George. Hello. You want to say hello? Hey? Do you want to say hello? You're so heavy, I can't even pick you up anymore. George, come here. George? Come here, babes. Hang on. I don't know if you can see him there. He's climbing on everything. George, come here. Are you going to say hello? Say hi. Say hi. Look how much of a big boy you are now. I'm really sorry about the mess, my place. Dad's... Wait, don't... Stop trying to shag me. It's not okay. You don't have any of your boy things left. He gets a little bit boisterous still, and he doesn't have any of his boy bits left. I might have to throw him out because he just destroys everything. Otherwise, I'm not going to get anything done. So there is the introduction to Georgie. George, come here. Come here. No, he's just going to get everything out. So just bear with me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Right, I blew my nose at the same time because my nose is running. So yes, I do apologise. My place is a bit of a mess. Dad is like, that's basically where Dad sleeps, and I sleep in the bedroom. Although he does have wardrobe space, I don't even have enough wardrobe space. So it's just so difficult when both of us live here whilst he's here. But yeah, Georgie is completely destructive. And whenever I go to work, if I have any clients, if the builders and my dad are over in the barn, he asks me to take him with me because he just grabs everything, runs off with it, chews everything. I mean, he's just a goat, isn't he, at the end of the day? But wow, he's a lot. So anyway, after all of that excitement, let me tell you what I worked on this month. I mean, I say that I'm just so disappointed, but it's just so difficult because my dad is working literally round the clock to try and, you know, save labour. He's doing absolutely everything. We had a new pasture border come in, and so him and myself were putting up a new fence. But, you know, he did the majority of the work. You know, he's always the one that does most of the work. He was in there with Kevin, our builder, doing all the electrics. Now we have electric in and all the lights are in, which is great. But, you know, he's there working, he's just working around the clock, let me tell you. He's so busy. And I just don't think it's appropriate that I sit inside when I'm not, you know, with clients, doing stitching. You know, it's just, it's not who I am. Even in the evening when you know, we're sitting down, I just don't feel like, it's okay to do that. And he's never made me feel like it's not okay. It's just, it's a respect thing, you know. And also, by the time I get to the end of the day, I'm so shattered. I mean, I went to Daytona last weekend, and I'll put some pictures up, because my dad was like, basically, you need to go and have some time out, because the build is stressing me out, the finances are stressing me out. We've had to go back to the bank and ask for more money, and it's just a lot. And I never knew how stressful a build would be, and now I know. But anyway, so Delightful Waltz is what I worked on this month, and it is by Artisy. This is the large one. I'm stitching this on 20 count 1/1, and I'll do this as this is where I was before, and this is where I am now, because this is quite a big one. So this is where I am now. Mainly worked in this area here. I like this. I do really like this one. I'm really enjoying this one. Came down here, I think, worked some of that. Also, I was putting some rogue stitches in this area here. So yeah, that's, I mean, I haven't even finished. I think I'm getting really stressed out, or I've been really stressed out, because I haven't done any stitching. And for me, stitching is a real kind of time that I can just chill out and not think about anything and just really relax. It just takes me into a form of relaxation that I don't get from anything else. Even reading, that just makes me tired, and that just makes me want to go to sleep. So because I haven't been doing any of that, I've been really struggling with just everything on a daily basis. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this is going to be quite a short video. But you know, I genuinely have no stitching. And this is a stitching video, and I get that. But let me just talk you through, because I know there's a lot of people that are interested, through what we've done in the barn. So I'm going to try and introduce some pictures as well. So from when you last saw it, which I think was a roof, and then we'd started framing, we now have all the windows framed in. We have the toilet framed in, back room framed in, the feed room framed in. You've got the wall that is the end wall between the wash area, or where the solarium's going, and the stables. Had all the wiring go in, and that takes a while. And it's one of those things that, you know, whilst framing's going up, you look like you're progressing, you know, really quickly, and you're, you know, everything is happening really quick. But then as soon as people start doing the electrics and the plumbing, nothing actually adds to the build. Although it's important and you need it, it just takes a while, and you don't see any improvement. Now, I know it's one of those things that it has to be done, but it's quite demoralizing sometimes when, you know, you just feel like everything's been put on hold for like a week or two whilst they do all that, but it hasn't. It's a really weird psychological thing. Anyway, so the siding has gone up. Looking at it as I'm talking to try and kind of rattle my brain, because I feel like my brain cells have died like one by one over this last month. The stress that I've been feeling is like inconsequent, and like, it's just, I can't put a figure on it, because I've just not been sleeping. I've been stressed out about the finances. Are we going to come into budget? We've gone way over budget. The biggest problem was, is my bank going to give us the rest of the money to finish it? But you know, I had a really great conversation with my bank, and my bank are really great. So yeah, we've got all the siding up, all the windows have been trimmed out, most of them, I think there's 2 or 3, and then we had an extension put on the front, a 24-foot extension. In sending out pictures, kind of semi-advertising my barn, with the progress of it being built, to people that are potentially going to be interested with boarding with us. It just goes out to all of the groups, and I've had so much interest that it was decided. Originally, I was going to make one of the stables a hay, storage area, and then another stable, the shaving storage area. that isn't going to happen now. I've had so much interest, I feel like I am going to be full straight away, which is fantastic, which is brilliant. So we kind of made and this is one of the reasons why we came like over budget and we were going back to the bank begging, is because that cost about 20 grand to put up. So that was 20 grand in our budget that we didn't have and then we hadn't budgeted for. It was going to happen, it was going to go on eventually, but it wasn't going to be something that was going to get done now. Can I hear something? I don't know what that is. But you know, it was a decision that myself and my dad made, that he was like, you know, you are going to need somewhere to put your tractor, to put your ATV for your arena groomer, to put your shavings and any hay and many, you know, any other storagey bits that you need. Obviously feed will go into the feed room so that they don't get annihilated by rats. I'm not saying that we'll have rats. I've got cats and they don't do anything to the mice population. I live in a camper, so I have mice coming in all the time. It's just a nightmare. I can't really cope with it. But I do the catch and the release, and I can't poison anything because one, I just can't do that for I just would not hurt anything. But two, I have got animals, so if I was to poison anything and they ate it, then I'm poisoning my own cat. So I've got to be careful how, you know, I do this. So what I tend to do is I put a humane trap in with a bit of food, and they go in and the door comes down and they get trapped, and then I drive them all the way to the end of my driveway, which is 3/4 of a mile, and then I put them in the wooded area in there, and hopefully that's where they stay. But then the next day I get something else. It's just but yes, so my dad at the moment is working on the stable fronts, so we are doing a stained tongue and groove wood in the dividers. We've got 4 foot of grills at the top and then 4 foot of wood, and it goes all the way around the outside, like on the edge, so on the outside edge, so where the window is, and then comes all the way around to the other divider, and then they are all in the stalls. And Dad thought it'd be a really good idea, because my dad has got a really good attention to detail as well, that we not only stain them, but we do them tongue and groove. 2 reasons: 1, because of stability, and 2, because it just looks nicer. It looks more finished, and you're not going to have so much of the contraction and expansion of wood, you know, when it gets super cold and gets super hot. So yeah, that's kind of where we are. I have decided that I'm just going to leave the extension as it is. We're not going to do anything with like the purlins. We're not going to paint. We're not going to put any insulation up there at the moment. We just, at this moment in time, we don't need it. The barn is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be absolutely stunning, and I think that will more than showcase itself when it's done. So the fact that the the extension's kind of not quite finished doesn't really matter. And then on the outside, we have started doing the board and batten siding, where you just have like the little strips every 16 inches or something. They normally do those on houses, and I really like that finish. I thought it looked phenomenal. So that's the finish we're going for. So it's not just a white building and not just boring. And then the windows are going to get shutters, oak shutters, oak colour. So we're just going to make them, and we're going to make the barn doors. So yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. And then once I then build on the second half, we'll sort out probably putting this side in as well. And then yeah, so we'll do the second half, and then we'll roof over the 30 foot in between. And that's when we'll put in the extension, you know, as in like the walls and everything. But yeah, so at the moment we're working on the tongue and groove board. So I've been planing as well. And then as soon as that is done, the stable's all ready to go up. So then it's siding for, I think they're going to do drywall in the toilet and some of the tack room, not all of it, because we need like a decent board where the saddles are going and the bridles and things like that, so it's strong, so any of the saddle racks that go up are strong and they don't fall off. And then we've got cabinetry going in the toilet, like just a little vanity with a sink. My taps have arrived. My faucets, they are like a light brushed, like a light gold brushed colour. They're not like too in your face gold, they're gold, but they've got like a soft brush on them, and they're actually really, really beautiful. And they should coincide with the brass finials I've got. So although the finials are brass, they kind of look gold. I think brass kind of looks gold or brass, doesn't, you know. So it will all match. And then in the tack room and in the feed room, I've got 24-inch by 10-inch sinks that both also have faucets. And in the tack room next to my sink, I have a double stack washer and dryer, which is arriving next week, I believe. I got a cracking deal on Samsung. I wasn't even looking for Samsung. I was looking for something really, really cheap, like, you know, 700 or 600 and something each. And because, you know, Samsungs are like, making be like $700-800 each, sometimes $900. And I got these for like $5.98 or $6.98 or each or something like that. So that was a bargain. So Dad was like, yes, that was on a deal. So he said, just buy it now in case you don't get that deal again. And then we've got air conditioning going into the tack room and the feed room. And I think that's kind of it. That's where we are. So I've put some photos through as I've kind of been talking, but I think next month when I come back, hopefully, my dad thinks it'll be finished in 4 weeks. So next month when I come back, I might have a proper finished barn. At least the barn will be finished, and then we'll be working on the arena. So my arena sand I've not been too happy with. So what I've done is there is a guy up in Michigan who does, who analyses sand. And what I wanted him to do is analyze my sand, because it's not very, it doesn't support my horse's feet, and you know, it becomes quite deep. It only becomes quite deep when there's no structure to it. So what he's going to do is going to put me together a blend. So my masonry sand, which is what I've got, will be the base, and then he'll probably give me 2 or 3 different blended sands that are angulated, that kind of, you know, work well with the masonry sands, and you know, some of them might be fines, some of them might be a little bit more coarse, I don't really know. And then we're having a sprinkler system put around the arena, because you do need water with how dry Georgia is in the summer. And if you can imagine beach sand, you know, when you run on a beach in where the water isn't close to where the sand is, like where the dunes are, it's really, really difficult to run in, isn't it? Because the sand just collapses underneath you. Whereas if you run closer to the shoreline where the water is and where the water has been, because it's had a lot of water, it's you know, a lot more structurally supportive. And actually, if you pick up a ball or just pick up some sand from the area where it doesn't have any water, up near like the sand dunes, you know, at the top, it just falls out of your hand. But what you want is when you pick up sand in the arena, and this is what happens closer to the shore, is you pick up the sand and you can ball it in your hands, and then you can drop it and it pretty much should stay in a ball. Well, that's exactly what you want for an arena, and that's how you get the structure and the support, you know, for a rideable, something that's rideable. And there's so much science in it, it's unreal. But I think that's kind of like what I've been doing this month. This whole barn has just taken everything. I will show some pictures at the end of my break with my friends. We went to Daytona, and that was really nice, and we went up one of the really high, well, I thought it was high, we're both scared of heights. We went up a lighthouse, and that was really interesting, and found out a bit of history about it. But yeah, it was just really nice to get away. But God bless my dad. So he said to me, Holly, I know you've been really stressed and you haven't been sleeping very well. And I haven't. I am really tired. He said, just take this 4 days, because we only went for 4 days. Just take this 4 days. And he was like, don't even think about the barn. Just close your mind to it. Just get some you time, some zen time. It was so funny. That man phoned me every single day with problems. I'm like, I'm so glad I came away, like literally. And you know what the crazy thing is? is that one of the days, and I'm not bitching about my dad at all, this is just one of the funny things that he does that I don't think he realises. He doesn't text, and it's quite funny because if I'm driving and I have a mate text me, and or a client, and I say to Dad, "Oh, can you text them back?" Because he doesn't text. He's just not a man of today's computerized industry, should I say, the digital world. He literally is texting like really slow because he just doesn't. It's really funny. So he never texts me. So I kid you not, on Saturday morning, I got 7 missed calls. I got 7 missed calls. Tracy got a missed call because he's got her number as an emergency. I had 2 WhatsApp calls. So then, and my phone was on silent. So overnight, I always put my phone on silent. And bearing in mind, we are on the same time zone. So it's not a problem. I mean, when I was at home, when I was in the UK, I didn't put my phone on silent because Dad was 5 hours ahead of me. And if there was a real issue, I needed him to be able to contact me. So it never went on silent, but it went on silent overnight. And I kid you not, I had like 8 missed calls, like 6 missed calls. Tracy had 1, 2 on WhatsApp. And then I'm phoning him back with literally my heart feeling like it's about to jump out of my throat, not knowing what's happened. Has something happened? Has one of the horses kicked another horse? Has one of the horses escaped? Like, what's happened? It must be something bad to like contact me that much. No, he wanted to know where the bloody tea bags were. I mean, come on. I said to Dad, like, next time, please just text me. Like, just text me, you don't know where the tea bags are. And I would come back to you. I said, you had me freaking out. You had Tracy freaking out because I've got 3 of hers on board. And he was like, oh, sorry. My dad's so blasé. He was like, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to worry you. I didn't mean to worry you. Oh my gosh, my dad. Bless him. I do love that man. But yeah, so he was like, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to worry you. But anyway, so the build is coming along leaps and bounds at the moment, which is amazing. My stitching, not so much. I think what I'm going to do this year, in honesty, I'm just going to work on what I want to work on if I can. Whip Go, I'm probably just going to rewrite Whip Go next year, start again. I can't do everything. And, you know, the barn is taking a lot of time mentally and time physically, and when I come in, even if I could stitch, I'm exhausted. So I think I'm going to work on the projects going forward. I certainly am going to work on Peacock Love because I want to get that finished, the quick stitch Peacock Love. I want to get that finished. I am absolutely going to work on Alternative Reality, which is a long dog sampler. Alternative Reality. Oh my goodness. Resistance is Futile. Sorry. Resistance is Futile, which is a long dog sampler because it's a monocolour. Probably some of the probably the Crosswords, which is also long dog, and Sanssouci. I know that sounds really boring, but the ones that are more mono, I find that I can get a lot more stitching done, and for me, I feel like it's more productive. I really want to do more on dahlias, yellow dahlia, because I've got a lot of bulk colour in there, so that one is brilliant. And the other one I want to do a lot more on is Henry VIII, because that's also really bulk and I can get a lot more done on that one. And obviously the Bountiful Bookshelf, which I don't feel like I am getting anywhere with. I just feel like that is going to take me 100 years to finish, because every single month I either don't do any stitching, and that's included in not doing any stitching, or if I do stitching, it's not included in that stitching that I do. And every single month I say to you, right, I'm going to make sure I do at least 2,000 stitches on it, or at least do, some stitching on it, and it just never happens. I don't know what to do to actually keep going on that. I think I've hit a wall with feeling like it's such a big project. It's overwhelming. And part of me is like, sod it, I'll just get a diamond painting. I know it sounds crazy, because I really do want it as to be in the house that I build eventually. Or that's something else I'll talk to you about now. That I do want it to be a focal point in one of my hallways. But at this point, I'm like, Holly, just diamond paint it, because you'll have it finished in like 3 months. And this is going to take years, and I just don't know what to do. I'm so I feel that I'm so het up on not having done any work on Bountiful Bookshelf that it's kind of stopping me from doing anything else, because I feel like I'm already failing. And I know that's not how I should view it, and stitching should be stress-free and enjoyable and things like that. But I don't know, do I need to be setting myself goals of like, okay, you need to do one book every 6 months? I mean, would that work? I don't even know how many stitches that would involve. Maybe 8 months, one book every 8 months. And if I finish one book before that time, I can use that, you know, that extra time in the next book, so I can build up, you know, time in lieu type thing. I don't know how to tackle it. That's the thing, I don't know how to tackle it, and I'm stressing out because I'm working out that I've got, it's 700 and something thousand stitches. I've probably done about 40, don't even know how many stitches I've done, 30 something thousand, no, probably more than that. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Yeah, probably about 31,000. And I've been doing this since 2019, and we are in 2025, and I've finished 2 books and I'm on the next one. It's overwhelming, and I don't know what to do. Any help, I would really appreciate it. If you can give me any pointers on how to do that. And I know it's just about picking it up and doing it. You know, even if I, you know, and I know a lot of people will say, look, just do 100 stitches a day. Just do 100 stitches on it a day. But sometimes I don't even get that on any project that I work on, because, you know, I've come in late and then I have to cook dinner. And my dad, I feel that, you know, I should make dinner for my dad because he works so bloody hard in the day. I mean, he's up at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know, and on the days that I got taken out by a horse. That's why I got this massive plaster. I got taken out by a horse massaging it last week. It completely swung around and blindsided me and threw me across the barn. I didn't see it. And this pit is it's getting there, but if you can imagine, the whole of this area is just one massive scab. I mean, it was so sore. My dad didn't even ask me. He just did the horses. He just doesn't complain about anything. You know, he's given me sort of loads of time to sleep in and stuff, and I just can't. You know, at 7 o'clock in the morning I'm up, because even if I want to sleep in, I can't sleep in, because A, I feel guilty, and B, I'm like, you know, I'm up now anyway. The goat needs feeding, the cats need going out. I mean, I have such a lot to do in the morning, so I can't possibly sleep in, and that's not who I am. So yes, any help on Bountiful would be really helpful. And in fact, you know, I know Dad's doing a lot, but you know what? He's in his element. He absolutely loves it. He feels like he's got a reason to live. I know that sounds crazy. He's 71 years old, and I think he gets very bored at home. He lives in Spain with his wife, and his wife is, we're not even going to discuss her. She's something completely off the wall. But, you know, whenever he's at home, he gets hassled by her wanting this, wanting that. Can you fix this? Can you fix that? Can you do this? Can you do that? And it's just constant, like, ah. And here, he literally just does whatever he wants. So if he's like, do you know what holes I'm going to work on such and such today? We've got a lot going on at the moment. We need to have shelters put in some fields at the top for some pasture boards. We need we've got an extension on the little kind of office bit down the bottom that he's kind of working on as well. What else? He's working on the barn, but he can decide like what he wants to work on, and he's in his element, and I'm not screaming at him saying, Dad, you need to do this, Dad, you need to do that. He just gets on with it, and he feels like he's got a reason to live. It's weird, like he's got a reason, not a reason to live, maybe that's a little bit kind of far-fetched, but you know, a reason for getting up in the morning. That's probably a better terminology. And he feels appreciated, because he is appreciated. He's appreciated every single day, and he's making something, and that's what he, you know, he's got a construction background, but he's always been in the senior project planning side of things. And yes, he sees things happening, and he's on claims. You know, he worked on the Panama Canal and is dealing with the claims on that. But he said, I feel like I can be a part of something that I'm actually physically building myself, whereas he never felt like he was a part of anything when he was working, you know, on Hong Kong Airport and St Pancras Station and, you know, London Village and Olympics, because he wasn't on the ground and doing it. And this is what he loves. He loves being hands-on. So I think he's enjoying it. So for me, if I can make him a decent dinner when he comes in and hand him a beer at the door, he's happy. And if he's happy, I'm happy. So, you know, it's good. But yeah, so I'm hoping that I'm going to have a little bit more stitching with you. Dad basically said that he's going to stay here until I am completely set up. The barn is finished. We've got all of the shelters for the boarding. All of the pastures are done. The pastures for the stall board is done. And when I'm fully operational, that's when he'll book his flight home. But he said he's not booking his flight home anytime before that, which is really nice. So he doesn't want a stressed call from me saying that I'm running out of money because, you know, things aren't happening, or I'm halfway through the build and this has gone wrong and that's gone wrong. So that's nice. That's a comfort to know that everything is going to be sorted. So I am really sorry to disappoint every single one of you who thought you were going to come here and watch some stitching. I just haven't done any. Just been exhausted, and I just, whilst Dad's working so hard, I just don't feel like it's okay to do that, you know. You know, at the end of the day, he's doing you a bloody favour and he's not getting paid for it. And I think, you know, at least with having the barn built, he's going to get paid back. And I think that's what he sees it as. If he leaves half a barn, he's not going to get paid back. But yeah, so anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm sorry this was not really the video that you kind of expected, but I will try my best to do some stitching today. Dad basically said that he's happy doing what he's doing, and if I wanted to do some stitching today, you know, he's happy doing that. So he's happy with me doing this. So I might work on some, I think what is in my stand currently is is dahlia, yellow dahlia. But I didn't actually get much done. I think I did 39 stitches on that and it was pointless, not worth showing you. So I've got another 1,970 odd or 60 odd to get my 2,000 quota. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to work on are the monochromatics, the ones that got bulk colours, and I'm going to set my mind to doing 2,000. And I am going to try my best to also get Bountiful Bookshelf in that as well. So, but we'll see. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you all again in my next video. Cheers, guys. Bye.